For today's cup of coffee with Scream. There's all kinds of screaming going on. Various and sundry levels.
About the Krabby Patties.
Oh, God. It's just, these geomagnetic storms and stuff are causing some people to short circuit. Be aware of that. Have some compassion. It's the level of fatigue that I have has just been astronomical. Mm-hmm. Just totally, completely astronomical. Plus, we have a frost warning or watch or something for tonight. So we've had to bring in all the plant babies. And we're recording this.
It about looks like a jungle in here.
Yeah, it does. 10/10. That is October the 10th of 2024. And yes, it's going to have to be rearranged tomorrow because all our plant babies, not all of them are small.
No. Oh, no. Not. No. As a matter of fact, I would say none of ours are really small plants.
That's a good thing. I've worked diligently so that they were not small plants.
Yeah.
And it's like the cats have just...
tilted. They
yes.
tilted.
They have, it's like we repotted this one. I think it's a type of sugar cane that had gotten youngest kid a couple of years ago for his birthday. And it had grown enough to where it had to be repotted and stuff. And it's like I had it in its little pot or its large pot. And these cats, they will get in it and it's like nudge it over and over. And over. And so now he's leaning sideways again. And I don't know that I'm going to get a chance to try to repot him again.
I mean, it's listen, he's fine right now. It's winter. He doesn't need replanted.
Yes, he does. He's listing.
He may be listing. He's fine. He's fine.
But it's like the porch looks naked.
It is naked right now, but that's
except for we wanted to reorganize the pumpkins and all that stuff tomorrow, and reorganize the plants in here to where it doesn't look quite as jungle-esque. It's not necessarily a bad look.
No, I don't mind the jungle look necessarily. It's just if the plants are placed right.
Mm-hmm. And if we can keep the cats out of them.
Yeah.
Because
that's going to be the issue, is keeping the cats out of them.
War with the cats when they are in during cold weather.
And it happens.
Frequently.
Yeah.
And it's like, because of how our house is situated and as far as the sun and different things like that, and we get, the morning sun is wondrous. The evening sun, not so much, because that can harm. It's too much.
Yeah.
Especially with the UV rays right now.
Mm-hmm. It's just too harsh on it.
Uh-huh. And so we've got a limited selection of windows where we can put the plants and try to keep the cats off of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. And the battle continues.
Yeah, no, it's not been fun.
It's not fun. Let me tell you something. Having 13 cats and
I'm over it. I'm over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think we have been for a while. Oh, I really do. But I've been having these weird symptoms. Excuse me. Not only the sinus, that's just changing. It's allergies and stuff. But it's like I will go through these periods of time where I feel feverish. Mm-hmm. I mean, sort of. Everybody knows what feverish feels like. But I will not have a temperature. In fact, my temperature usually runs lower than normal.
Mm-hmm. I don't... It's a weirdness that's going on. It really is.
And this has been going on for years. For years. But the fatigue that is what is so horrific.
Well, you have chronic fatigue syndrome.
I do. And that is one of the things after... And I love autumn. I truly do. but after the equinox and where we start the less light, and I can feel it physically.
Yeah. It's not a fun time.
And then it goes on for months and months and months. But actually, only until like December 21st, which that is winter solstice. And then I can feel it little by little by little, the light's coming back.
Yeah. Because it always does. It has to.
And that's what our, our faith, and that's how things are set up at this point.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because looking at things that's going on X, and Hurricane Milton came through, and everybody was stunned because they're like, it wasn't as bad as they were predicting. And those of us that have been praying, we're like, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it could have been so much worse. It's not that it wasn't bad, and for people, that some got hit more than others. But they're like, that Helene was so much worse. And some of these people that don't believe in spiritual anything, they're sitting there scratching their heads. Well, they can scratch their heads, scratch their asses. They have become their own gods. So, what are they doing about it?
Right. Right.
But to see how escalated everything, and so with what that feverish feeling that I have, because some of this stuff, I don't know that it's not on a supernatural basis, and I'm just not recognizing it.
And it very well could be.
And to think of the term fever pitch.
Fever pitch?
For things to become getting to a fever pitch. And I'm like, I wonder what the real origin of that term is. And I actually, for the first time, tried out Grok. Grok. Which is the AI that's there on X.
Okay.
And what it is, it's just a consolidation of individual searches. Which is pretty cool. And I was not unhappy with the result. And it says that the question was fever pitch saying origin. And the answer says the phrase fever pitch refers to a state of intense excitement or agitation. Its origin, as noted from various sources, can be traced back to the mid-19th century. And here's a detailed look. It says, historical context. The term pitch in this context relates to a high level or intensity, a usage dating back to the mid-1500s.
Really?
Because we think of pitch as either being a tar-like substance used to waterproof things, or to throw a ball.
Or an idea.
Yes, to pitch an idea, absolutely. It says when combined with fever, which indicates a state of high body temperature, often associated with excitement or agitation. I've never thought of that causing your body temperature to raise, but I guess it would because it causes, blood pressure and everything else. So I can see that would also include body temperature.
Yeah.
Fever pitch came to describe moments of extreme emotional or physical intensity. And its first recorded use, and it says while the exact date isn't pinpointed to a single event or individual, the first recorded use of fever pitch is cited around 1846 by Merriam-Webster, though the mention of it in 1837 by the Oxford English Dictionary, specifically in a context that might predate its general usage, suggested that its use controversially or literally before its formal documentation. And they were talking about, it said, and something else that I did read that they didn't include on this. Oh, wait, they did. Cultural impact. The phrase gained broader recognition through literature and film, notably through Nick Hornsby's book Fever Pitch, published in 1992, which detailed his obsession with football, particularly Arsenal Football Club.
Okay.
Anyhow, I've read that part. One of the search results said that it had to do with rugby or something. Or no, it wasn't rugby. It was cricket.
Cricket. Okay.
And that somebody had used the term fever pitch with that. And if you type in just on a search, you will get this movie. Apparently, that's this whatever about this book. That's pointless. That was useless.
Yeah, that definitely does.
And one can question if this also includes mob mentality.
It could.
And or mass hysteria.
Because, I mean, think about it. That is high emotion.
Uh-huh.
It's that high agitation, so that very much could be what's going on.
Into these frenzies.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that occur in our society in various and sundry places.
Mm-hmm.
And that combined with everything else. And it's, if you remove yourself sort of, kind of, and observe it without getting caught into the emotion, it's fascinating. To know that you are living through this is kind of horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. It is very horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wants to live during that.
Well, and it's like, I heard somebody the other day as far as sort of rebuking people for feeling frightened.
Rebuking people for feeling frightened?
Yes, because you've got a lot of assholes out there right now. And I don't care if they say that they're just being... There is a difference between presenting information plainly and as one who has absolutely no tact, and other people who present it in a way that is very damaging to others.
Yeah.
The things that I say is never intended to damage anyone. But fear is a basic human emotion. It's a survival instinct.
Yes.
And so when you see situations and different things like that that could bring potential harm, it is normal and natural to feel fear.
Yes.
And since we are in spooky season, and we can't even enjoy spooky season because we've got shit that is more horrific going on than anything that you could watch in a movie.
Yeah.
It is a matter of confronting fear, acknowledging it, but not allowing it to control you. And I think some of these people that want to sit there and go that they have no fear, and it's like, okay, are you real? Is that a matter of bravery, or is that a matter of emotional numbing, or, whatever?
Well, who are these people?
Or are they just full of shit?
Well, that's what I'm about to say, what I was going to ask. Who are these people that are saying this?
Well, I'm not going to say,
because some of them are just flat out full of shit. Because when shit hits the fan, they are some of the first to panic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And in horror movie standards,
it's like our buddy Omega, and it's like some of the stories that he could tell, and he had told us a story earlier that it was. I don't know that we could record that and put that out on the internet because I wouldn't want to get him in trouble in any way.
No, you can. You just can't have his face. You can't have his actual name.
Well, it was a matter that...
But you can have him on... You can have his voice on
Rumble
or X, and he wouldn't mind, I don't think.
I don't think that he would mind us relaying the story that he had just said. And you've got to realize that the basis of this man, he has had some really hard things to overcome in his life.
Yeah.
Really hard things. And that his mother, and he adored his mother. He loved his mother.
Mm-hmm.
and that she had some severe health issues, and she passed at a relatively young age. I think he said she was 41. And that she was very much a believer as far as Christian, that was one of the things that, another thing that just he adored about her, that she, to the best of her ability, walked the talk. And that some of the Jehovah's Witnesses, and around here, I grew up and these were called the no hell believers because they don't believe in hell. So they were the no hell believers.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to slam anybody's faith or anything like that, but some of these people can be extremely persistent.
It's to the point of nuisance.
And that they had, the woman was in the process of dying. And that they had come to her house, and she had told them, it's like, look, I respect your beliefs. That is not how I believe. Please don't come back. And so they kept coming back, and it was bothering her. It was annoying her. Mm-hmm. And so Omega was there one day because his mother, like I said, she didn't have the strength to really be as forceful as she should have been. Pardon me, coffee slurping coming. Mm-hmm. And so he had a firearm. And he said it was not loaded or anything like that.
It was unloaded because he was cleaning it.
Yeah. And so the one guy, he had said, I mean, there was a lead up to it, but basically he had told the guy, he said, you say you don't believe in hell, that everybody goes, that you're going to heaven. Let's just say.
Yeah.
And he said that his mother had told them not to come back, mm-hmm. that they had not respected his wishes. And so after Omega gave Dude the option of verifying his beliefs, Dude didn't return.
Yeah.
And I told Omega, I said, I don't blame you. I've done the same damn thing. I would have done the same thing.
I mean, seriously, harassing an old woman who has told you no.
Yeah.
Somebody over and over again. Yeah. Stop harassing them.
Yeah. And that's not all of them. I have met some of the Jehovah's Witnesses that were very kind people that I'm just like, I don't believe the same way.
But, it also shouldn't take, someone threatening someone.
It wasn't a threat.
It
was not a threat.
No, it was
an opportunity to find truth.
That is true. Yeah.
But Omega was wise enough to sit there and go, he's like, there for a minute, I'd say that this man may have rethought his beliefs.
Yeah.
And maybe during this
just
time,
for a split second,
this time of this fever pitch within our nation and our world, there are other people that are examining their beliefs.
They have to, at this point, seriously. Like, how can they not?
Yeah. Yeah. And that you've got quite a few people that for many years now have been harassed in every conceivable way by some people that you can look at them and you're like, that person's possessed.
Yeah.
And you know that.
I posted on something. It was like, let me say this for the people in the back. I don't fuck with no demons.
Right. Because they all got the crazy eyes.
Yeah.
That or you can look in their eyes and that is not a human looking out at you.
No. It's just, there's nothing. It's scary. If there's, but what's worse is when there is something behind those eyes, but it's not a good thing.
Right. There's been incidents of people, as far as them going into rages, to where their eyes turn black.
Yeah. That's a demonic something.
And we're talking about, this was on like psychology videos and stuff like that, and people talking about these narcissists and everything. So you've got a lot of people out there operating under some kind of spirit that it ain't of God.
Yeah, no. That's a demonic something right there.
Yeah. And that this stuff is reaching a fever pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those that we continue to pray because it does matter.
Yeah.
And that, yes, it's okay to admit it's like anger. And I got to thinking about that today because I have been just livid. And I'm like, I shouldn't get angry. And it's like, anger is not a horrible thing. Christ said, be angry and sin not. There are things that absolutely should enrage people right now if they have a shred of decency. It's called righteous indignation. To sit there and at what point do people stand together and say, enough? This is the line in the sand. You shall not pass.
I think people are already getting to that point, have already very much gotten to that point ever since Helene.
I think that was a start of it. I really do.
Yeah. Because you can really, like, seriously, just sitting back, watching the main people of TikTok, you can really see.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you this. There was somebody I was listening to before we started recording that lives down in Florida, and they were talking about, now this is allegedly, that one of the reasons that volunteer everything is blocked from some of these areas is because it's almost like some of these organizations, approved organizations, get kickbacks.
It literally is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know how infuriating that is?
It should be. The love of money. Not money. The love of money is the root of all evil. And it was just like an epiphany for me. And it's like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like any other racket where you can go down to the dollar store and buy 50 Advil or whatever, or, ibuprofen for $1. And yet, if you go to the hospital, they're going to charge you $50 for a single ibuprofen.
Yeah.
So if government anything, and he included local, because there were instances where local government in some of these places was blocking volunteers. You've got to find out. Follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money trail.
Always follow the money.
It's sickening. It's sickening. And this is where, as individuals, we need to go back, re-examine our motives, re-examine other people's motives. If somebody is in a position of power and they're doing something that is not what they were supposed to be doing, if they're incompetent, then they need to be removed and put somebody in there that actually is competent.
Mm-hmm. Because right now we don't have anyone in there that is.
Well, it depends on where you are. It really does. But as far as, I don't know, there as far as audits, and I know that my father before, because he farmed, plus he had public job and different things like that, and every now and then they would audit him. And you have to give an account for every expense, income, outcome, all that stuff. Mostly needlessly. Mm-hmm. How come the government never does that? I want an itemized audit of everything.
Yes. Everything.
And trust me, we are not trying to become a political channel at all.
It's just this time that we're living in. It's impossible to avoid it.
You've got to pick a side.
Yeah.
And I'm on the side of the American people. I always have been.
Mm-hmm.
And that the forces of darkness have come in and they have tried to divide us every conceivable way. We have been like that X over the couple of years where those damned eclipses came across and formed an X in our country. It was like being drawn and quartered, and that's what's happening to our nation, and it pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to go back to being Americans. Not whatever hyphenated American, just American.
Mm-hmm.
Where it didn't matter if you came here legally, if you were born here. There's a lot of people that was born here, and they are so ungrateful that I think that they need to be given citizenship some other country.
Yeah, they absolutely should. They absolutely should
They have no one has to be an American. If you want to leave, go and apply for some other country. But I guarantee you this, you have to apply before. You can't just walk into any other damn country.
No, you cannot, and more than likely.
You have to know the language. You have to know a lot of the laws. You have to, it's just like Japan. My God, you have to, it takes a lot. They're very, very strict on who they allow in.
They don't want
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose their culture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to lose their culture.
No.
I don't want Appalachians to lose their culture.
All these people.
Or people down in the bayou or out there in California. God love y'all. I pray for y'all a lot. I really do. Y'all got your own thing going out there. But now, let me tell you something. You part of, but you ain't the total shit.
And now listen, culture does evolve. It does.
Yes.
But it does not conglomerate into a one singular thing.
Right.
Which is what they are trying to do.
Right.
It's that one world, they're trying to do the one language, one culture, all that bullshit.
That is not of God.
No.
We were told that it would come. And we don't know if that is now, if there's more time. I don't know. But it's one of those, it's like, no. I'm not a whatever hyphenated. I am an American.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different, we don't even know. We're mutts.
We are mutts.
And we're okay being mutts. Mm-hmm. Those who came before, we have got in our DNA the knowledge, the wisdom, everything within us as we're sitting here today. That was not lost. Everybody that is alive today is a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is something to be, grateful for.
Yes.
Proud of.
Just sit there and go, we are here by God's design. We have a mission. What are we going to do with it? What do we get to do with it? What,
it's like, oh, God spared us. God spared our lives.
Mm-hmm. But this fever pitch, and I pray to God that it's not going to end up in pitchforks and torches. And maybe in some instances it should.
Yeah. I think that it definitely has its place for a mob to form.
I know that some of the things,
pitchforks and torches.
I know that some of the things that's going on now in times not that far back, people would have been tarred and feathered and run out of town on a rail.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what running somebody out of town on a rail is, they would get like a railroad tie. They would set whoever had been tarred and feathered, ride their ass out in front of the rest of the community and dare them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And how did we become so complacent? Was it that we were too busy with distraction? Are we still too busy with distraction?
I know we are. Flat out. Like, that's the whole thing. It's just been ways to keep us distracted.
Mm-hmm. Bread and circus while Rome burns.
Yeah.
God help us. Final thoughts over there, kid?
Time for prayer. Time for prayer. And I've been saying this every single cup as final thoughts. Prayer.
Mm-hmm. And it's a matter of everybody is having paranormal and supernatural experiences. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if you don't understand that, then let me know. I'll pray for you. I've given up on the email right now. because I'm just overwhelmed.
She's got the suds.
I've had the suds. Yeah, it's just
And she feels bad, so she's going to be taking a break from a lot of stuff for a bit.
Just emails,
some messages.
Emails. Yeah. No, the best way to do is comments in X. I'm usually really good checking those things.
Honestly, I would rather check messages than emails because emails just they're overwhelming.
Why are they overwhelming?
I don't know, but it's like I still have not cleared out my mailbox, and there's shit stacked from 2015.
I have physical mail that's in a nest on one end of the couch here.
At a certain point, if you haven't touched it, if you haven't touched it in over 15 years, you gotta toss it.
It's not that deep. Not that deep.
I'm exaggerating on that, but I'm just saying.
It just happens. Tell them where they can find us.
Check us out on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda, COCWS. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good.
Know that you are loved.
Mm-hmm.
Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
If someone has fears, listen. Maybe those fears are valid. You know? I think a lot of people do right now, but do not sit there and make fun of somebody. And it's like, no, if somebody has not been afraid, there's a problem with them. That or they'll go through something in their life to where they are.
Yeah.
At least once.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, no.
It's some shit.
Learn who your neighbors are. Let your neighbors get to know you. And
that doesn't mean if your neighbors are shit neighbors that you had to interact with them. You don't gotta interact with your shit
honey,
neighbors.
Our people they're smart enough to know that. My God, we've got some amazing people on this little paddling pirate ship. Absolutely amazing human beings.
Mm-hmm.
They get it. They really do. But treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.